Hello, in this video I'm going to take you through a routine for your ankles and your hips. The use of a kettlebell is optional. So all we're going to do, starting off with, just bring our foot out in front of us. So we're just sort of sitting back on our heel here, okay? So we're going to take the kettlebell, we're going to place that onto there. If you don't have a kettlebell, you don't want to use one, you can just place your hands and apply pressure like that. All we're going to be looking to do basically is close the gap between your shin and your toes here. So we can take a weight there, just going to be putting it onto there. We're just going to work for about 1 minute, just clamping down into there, okay? So just going to start working. So just coming down into that position, and what we're looking to do is just make sure that we maintain this good foot arch here. So what we don't want is the ankle coming in this direction and the knee traveling inwards there, okay? So we're just going to be focusing on clamping that down, and we want to avoid also our heel lifting off. Now if it does come off the floor a little bit, you know, maybe sort of like, so half a centimetre or something, that's not the end of the world, but eventually we want to focus on being able to close this gap up and just leave that heel on the floor there, okay? Just pushing into there, into there. So if I'll just show you from this angle now, let's just come into there, just push down. So you can see, closing that gap up, heel on the floor, up and then down. If you find it's a little bit difficult being down on the floor doing this, you can just sort of put your foot up onto a box and just sort of do it from there. Just pushing in. Okay, good. Okay, so once you're finished, just going to switch legs now. Again, sort of just sitting into your position here, back onto your heel. You can bring your toes up if you want and sit on your heel so it's a little bit higher. And all we're going to do is just go onto there, just pushing in and down. Just closing that gap up. So we're just going to spend 1 minute there. Like I said, if that heel comes off slightly, it's not the end of the world, but what we want to avoid is the knee traveling inwards, putting pressure into the inside of the knee there, okay? So just making sure, basically our knee wants to travel towards our sort of second and third toes, all the toes in the middle here, rather than sort of outwards or inwards. So just clamping down there. Okay, good, just another 30 seconds. So let me just show you from there again. Just into there again. So we're just closing that gap up into there. Good. So once you're finished there, we're going to come into a squat hip opener. So what we're going to do starting off, just going to put our foot out in front of us, bring our hip back. And what's going to happen is our legs are going to come into sort of like a squat position, one leg at a time. So you can see I've got my foot flat there, the legs driving out of that angle, and we've got our hip externally rotating and coming out of that angle there. Now to stop your foot lifting off, because you might find that your foot wants to come to the side, just put your hand onto there. And all we're going to do now is just try and work at some, improving rotation of the hip. So starting there, we're just going to first of all squeeze your glute at the back here. This will push your hip forward, and all we're going to do is start to bring your hip towards your heel here. So obviously you'll never hit your heel. We're just thinking about rotating around, getting into that position. And then what we can do there is we can just place our forearm, we just hang it onto here, and really rotate around there, twisting in there. You might find your big toe lifts up a little bit. Eventually we want to try and keep that down, focus on that there. If you need to, you can keep your hand onto here, driving that leg out to the sides. You see my knees going one way, I'm coming this way. You can hang on to there, take a few deep breaths. Come back to the middle now. What we're going to do now is trying to continue keeping your leg driving out that way. Bring your hands over to that side so your body's going one way, legs driving out the other way there, okay? Again, just breathe in, breathe out. Good, spend some time there. Just come back to the middle there. What we're going to do now is just bring our elbows down. If you can, if you can't do that, just stay in this position. Try and sort of look up a little bit. If you can, just bring that down to there. Hold that position. If you can, just rotate out, come into there and push that leg out. If you find that difficult, just work at bringing one leg. This elbow will probably find quite easy. This one will be quite difficult. So we just work at trying to push that down. If you find it all right, just come into that position and push open there, okay? So just going to do another sort of 20 seconds there. So just come up to there, just finish off pushing that hip forward, lifting the chest up, just breathing in, on that position there. Just contract that glute, you can squeeze it at the back there and relax it off. Good, so just 3, 2, 1, just relax there, okay? So we're going to do now, just going to switch over legs, bring the other leg back, bring the other leg into that deep squat position. Just start off there. What we're going to do first of all again, just take that hip to extension, Breathe in, contract, give that a squeeze there. And what we're going to start doing, trying to rotate this hip towards that heel there. So we get into that position. Like I said, if you need to keep holding onto that foot, bring this foot straight here. Once you're comfortable, sort of, you can keep your foot down. Just bring your arm onto there. Rotate this hip forward. So you get a nice sort of line all the way from our knee all the way up here. Just come into that position. Breathe. Squeeze the glute. Take a nice deep breath all the way down into your stomach. Should feel a pull right through here, okay? So it's good. Once you finish there now, what you're gonna do then is just angle, the body's gonna go this way, arms out that way. So we're just pushing one way, head going the other, driving out there, okay? And again, just breathe in. Squeeze your glute at the back here. Relax off, good. Just come back to the middle now. What we're going to do now is just place your hand on your foot here if you can. Just going to just place your hand there to keep that down first of all. If you can, bring that arm across, push into there. Like I said, if you can't, just work at trying to get both elbows down to the floor. Maybe just lean on one arm, leave a hand there. Gradually you want to close that gap up so you feel comfortable enough to drive that out, but keeping that toe down, okay? So just driving out there. Just breathe in. And if you can, just sort of come into that position there. If you can't do that, just come up, bring that chest up there and hold there. But we'll just hold here for maybe 10 seconds. Make sure you're breathing. Coming up into there now. Just lift that chest up. A couple of breaths, just hold that for 10 more seconds. And relax there, good.